Tonight on Sportscentral, Gary B. Bettman offers the final say as the NHL imposes a severe sentence for Marty's vicious slash. We want your opinion. Bench for hockey's ultimate shootout. Gretzky gets the call to run the entire show 4 years later.
Darren Fleury, breakaway, short-handed. Great save, Settle.
Courtship has a double meaning for Patrick Waugh, suiting up for the judge in the morning, facing a Minnesotan jury tonight. Could it be Bobby Orr has sour grapes with Don Cherry on a hockey subject? As always, the kids are stuck in the middle. It's time for action, Mr. Jackson. This is one show you can't pass on. Prime Time is next. Coast to coast, welcome to Primetime Sports Central. I'm Darren Millard along with Brad Fay.
The kid you saw in those headlines is Jason Spezza, arguably the best player in junior hockey, at least a top prospect. He is without a team today. Details on that later. 4 NHL games tonight. But before we get to the on-ice action, a couple of big stories off the ice, Darren.
And Brad, when Judge William Kitchen convicted Marty McSorley of assault with a weapon last month, he showed compassion by imposing a conditional discharge. There was no such leniency from the National Hockey League, which today capped an indefinite suspension at a full year from the time the February 2000 incident occurred in Vancouver. Commissioner Gary Bettman has ruled McSorley can return to the NHL ice February 21st, passing along a strong message in response to a severe slash the 37-year-old delivered to the head of Donald Brashear. The suspension arrives a day after McSorley declined to appeal his conviction in a BC court. McSorley is an unrestricted free agent. He can sign with any team right now, but can't start practicing with the club until January 1st. The return date makes the suspension a full calendar year, but here's another angle. If you go by the Bruins schedule, the team in which McSorley was last employed, the 23 games missed last year combined with 59 prior to February 21st, 2001 add up to a complete 82-game schedule. Little different. With more insight into this story, we send the show over to a pair of former NHLers coupled by a newspaper editor, all led by the host of NHL Hockey on the Net. Here's Darren Dreger.
Thanks very much, Darren. Well, I don't think the news of the ongoing suspension of Marty McSorley came as much of a surprise to anyone, including my esteemed panel here at Hockey Central, but this is how the NHL commissioner responded following the announcement.
Actually, I think the act itself may have had an impact on NHL players, because I think everybody is pretty consistent with the view that this type of act is over the line. And I don't think there's much dispute about that. I mean, people will quibble about some of the details of this, but in the final analysis, this isn't something that anyone thinks is typical of NHL hockey or what NHL players do.
So there's the response from National Hockey League Commissioner Gary Bettman. John, the good news is we may not ever have to see that video again.
Well, we see it time and time again, and always from that angle that makes it look the worst possible you could ever have. And I think Gary Bettman's right. There's not many players, and players have cut down hitting from behind. There's not as much of that going on. I think it's good that it's over for the game, finally. Marty is not going to appeal the ruling. And I think that finally it's over. A year is setting the benchmark for future incidents, if any should happen. And thank goodness that it is finally over.
Well, I think the interesting thing, too, is that, as you said, and Nick mentioned it earlier tonight, that he has raised the bar, has Gary Bettman, when it's come to suspensions, but he doesn't think he has. He's not totally averse to that being the perception that the public has, but he doesn't think that he's set that bar that high. So now it'll be interesting to see when there will come a time, when there will be another incident. It'll be interesting to see what the suspension is for that. Has this established a new guideline?
So Scott, he goes from a 23-game suspension to an 84-game suspension, and he doesn't feel like the bar has been raised all that much.
I think he knows that he set a precedent. There's no question about that. I'm thinking, and he's probably hoping, by using a little bit of legalese and all of this, is that he has set the bar at a new height, but he's hoping that there won't be those types of incidents again that you have to deal with, that you'll go back to the more run-of-the-mill types of suspensions.
Then he's very fortunate that he got the perfect example to do it, and that's Marty McSorley.
Guaranteed.
He can play hockey again. They're not banning him, obviously, from the game. And if, in fact, somebody wants to sign him back to the game, he can start practicing as early as January 1. Do you guys believe that, John, do you believe that anyone will sign Marty?
No, I don't. And Marty is at the end of his career anyway. I know Marty wants to get back, and he's always in great shape, but it's one of those things that Marty was being used less and less with the Bruins. He was hurt. He has been hurt much more often in the last couple of years, and now how effective can Marty be in an enforcer's role when he can't enforce because of the judge's ruling? So I really doubt that any team will be that interested in Marty.
And he even said at the time of the incident that he feared he was at a point in his career where he was writing checks that his body couldn't cash anymore, that it was just getting too hard to win those battles and to answer the bell time and time again. And, you know, again, it's a tough situation for Marty McSorley, who feels very badly about everything that's happened. There's no question about that. There is genuine remorse. But he is also a pretty good guy, and the people who have had the opportunity to either play with him or get to know him around this game realize there is a very good side to this man, and it's unfortunate that this will be something that he's going to be remembered for a long, long time.
Yeah, true enough. Gentlemen, thank you very much. One of the day's top stories. Now let's get you back to Sports Central.
Well, Dregs, John, Nick, and Scotty have all cast their vote. Now it's up to you. What's your reaction to Marty McSorley's one-year suspension? Is it too lenient? Was it too harsh? Or was it very appropriate that 1 year worked out to 82 games? Log on to Sportsnet.com. Cast your vote. If you do not have a computer, call Brad. His number later in the show.
The days of simply icing an all-star team and rewarding a long-serving coach with a job behind the bench are gone for Canadian hockey. This country lost the final of the World Cup in '96 to the Americans before failing to medal in Nagano. It is all business now as Canada struggles to regain world supremacy, beginning at the 2002 Olympics in Salt Lake City. And guess what? Wayne Gretzky will head the program, and Pat Quinn, a winner wherever he's coached, will be his coach behind the bench. The Canadian Hockey Association will make the official announcements at a news conference in Toronto tomorrow. Quinn will be joined on the bench by assistants Jacques Martin of Ottawa, Ken Hitchcock of Dallas, and Canadian national team coach Wayne Fleming. And if you want the official word, join us. Live coverage beginning at 2 p.m. Eastern Time right here on CTV Sportsnet, as Wayne Gretzky introduces the Director of Player Personnel and the coaching staff led by Pat Quinn for the 2002 Olympics. Canada trying to go back and to get the gold. The Oilers and Rangers, who met tonight at MSG, know firsthand why Mark Messier is referred to as the greatest leader in sports. But has that title worn out its credibility just a little bit, considering in 3 seasons the Moose led the Canucks, where they'd already been, out of the playoffs, and that very early in his return engagement with the Rangers, his team is an uninspiring 6-7. Was the greatest leader in sports? Absolutely no question. Is? The jury is out. Of course, it's early in the New York, stanza of his career, but Vancouver didn't get it done. Mark Messier's 5-game point streak, though, give him that. First period, 109 in. Tom Poti with a great pass to Guerin, and it's 1-0 for the Oil. 49 seconds later, Dominic Pittis to Eric Brewer. The Oilers are up 2-0 before many were in their seats at MSG. Rangers on the power play. Peter Nedved. Brian Leetch. Watch this shot. Win a prize, knocking the Cupid doll off the shelf. Tommy Salo beaten. Rangers trail 2-1 after one. That second period, Oilers in the power play. Yanni Nienema with a point shot. It stopped. Guerin on the rebound. Cannot beat Richter. Play continues. Nienema at the point, taking the pass from Smith. And Nienema will, whoops, a spinorama not working like it once did for young Serge Savard. And here comes Theo Fleury. Right in. No! Stoned by Salo. What a start to this hockey game. Rangers then pressing. There will be a loose puck, and watch Mike York. He'll pick it up. A couple little moves, jam it underneath Salo. It's tied at 2 after 2. Third period, Nedved to Jan Hlavich to Brian Leetch. Leetch pinching in, as Jim Houston said he was doing it all night. That time it pays off with his second of the game. The Rangers lead at 3-2. Oilers shorthanded, 2-on-1. Todd Marchand, Mike Greer. Oh, what a pair of hands. Beats Richter, third of the year. It's tied at 3. Rangers in the power play, behind the net. Nedved, what a pass to Dvorak. What a game. In other words, 4-3 Rangers. They would win it by that final. You remember Glenn Sather started the Fire Wagon Hockey out west and said he doesn't believe the fact that the Eastern Conference couldn't play that way. He wants to institute that, and these two teams, the old and the new, of that system got together and gave us a beauty on the net. Leach's goal was his 800th point in his 871st game, and the man having a good time calling it was Jim Houston. He's joined by Craig Simpson.
4-3 was the final score for the New York Rangers over the Edmonton Oilers, but it was an interesting story getting there. Mike Richter played a big part of it and joins us now. It was 2-0, 2 minutes in for the Edmonton Oilers. Probably takes a veteran group like yours to stabilize after that, Mike.
Yeah, we've had a couple games at home where we've gotten ourselves right out of the contest early on, and we got down, I think, 3-0 to Pittsburgh, and a couple other times where really you're just struggling to stay in the game, and maybe you make it close 4-2 or something at the end, but the other team knows they're getting 2 points and leaving. So tonight we tried to keep it at 2, and when we scored the first goal, you know, when you're within one in your own building, you should be able to recover, and that's what we did. And you know, struggled through the second period. Salo was playing well. They were skating hard, but I think we overtook them toward the end of the game.
Mike, there's some nights when 21 shots can be an easy night, but tonight didn't look like that. You had some wild action in front of your net, did you not?
Yeah, that's a fast skating team, and you know, we have the advantage of being on Garden ice as opposed to Edmonton ice, but they do go to the net quickly and create plays, Dougie Waite and whatnot down low like this, and that was one where I got kind of lucky. I just swung my arm up like that, and like we were saying earlier, there was a lot of swimming per save in this game, but you know, sometimes you have to gut it out. I have to tell you, that's a fast team, and it didn't. They were going to come hard. We knew that, but it's another thing to try to contain them early, and we just had to win ugly, and we did that.
Mike, 4 wins in a row for you. Now, it must feel awfully nice having gone through all the rehab. How do you feel about getting yourself back in the game playing shape? How difficult was that?
Well, I still think I need to improve my fitness a little bit. I got tired a little bit last week. We had a lot of shots in the second period, and nowadays with all the 5-on-3s that you're going to see, a lot of those, you know, it's just a back and forth movement in the crease before you're getting a shot on a 5-on-3. So I still feel I need to get in shape, and I'm sure my time will improve as the year goes on, but I can't tell you how happy I am to be back in the net after all the therapy. And you know, 6 months ago you couldn't walk, and now you're playing in games. You just feel like it's a gift, so you savor every chance you get.
Well, it may not be your best, but it's nice to see you back and as acrobatic as you were tonight. Good game. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, guys.
Mike Richter is one of the key components in stabilizing his team as they came from behind a 2-0 deficit early and defeated the Edmonton Oilers 4-3 at Madison Square.
Jim Craig over on the island. The only mistake Phoenix has made this year, dealing Brad Isbister to New York. Hooking up with Nashville. Predators get it going in the first. Greg Johnson wins the draw. Kimo Timonen in the point shot. 1-0 Predators. But in the second, here come the Islanders. Taylor Pyatt stopped by Thomas Vokoun, but the garbage is there for Isbister. We tee him up and he delivers. Isbister with the 7th. 1-1 after 2, and he's not done. Isbister all alone in front. He's not making any mistake from there. 2-1 New York, and the rest is up to John Van Beesbroek, who faces 15 shots in the third period, and John Van Beesbroek will stop them all, including that save off Greg Johnson. The Islanders hold on 2-1. If Beezer was in the ballot, he would make that a 3-horse race tonight. Election updates later in the show. Isbister, 3 shots on goal, scored twice. The Predators failed to score more than 3 goals themselves for the 13th time in 14 games, and that's why they have won only once in their last 8 games. A 3-game road trip in early March will become a 4-city tour for Patrick Roy. In between games in Phoenix and Atlanta, the Avalanche goaltender will return to Denver and face a trial, charged with misdemeanor domestic violence. Accompanied by his wife, the National Hockey League's all-time winningest goaltender appeared in a Littleton, Colorado courtroom today, pleading not guilty to the accusation which stemmed from a late-night incident in October. The judge ordered a trial, disagreeing with Patrick Roy, the 35-year-old Roy, and his wife, both hoping the charges would be dismissed. Michelle Roy saying, "This is ridiculous. I cannot believe this case is going forward." She then kissed her husband, who ripped 2 bedroom doors off their hinges on the night in question, and then left Patrick Roy to speak to the media by himself in front of the courtroom.
I'm very disappointed today. All I want is to see our family have their life back to normal.
Yeah, same for me. I think this is ridiculous, and I can't not believe, you know, this case going forward.
Patrick Roy was in goal tonight for the Avalanche. They played host to the Minnesota Wild. First period, the Avs on the power play. Dan Heino to Milan Hajduk. Big save, Jamie McLennan. Another Avs power play. Heino to Alex Tanguay. Greg DeVries, one-timer, and there is McLennan with a glove save. Probably going wide, but he made it look good. Avs outshoot the Wild 14-4, scoreless after 1. Second period, Aaron Gavey says hello to Joe Sakic, and Sakic gets revenge like this. Tanguay out front, Sakic beats McLennan, 1-0 Colorado. Joe's got 4, and the Avs have that 1-0 lead in the second period, out shooting the Wild 18-10 at this point. Waz allowed 8 goals on his last 40 shots tonight, 10 saves, and as you see, a puck has not beaten him yet.
Wayne Gretzky will be able to have a pre-Olympic Games barbecue at his Southern California home in 2002. Most of the players will be in the area for the NHL All-Star Game just prior to the Salt Lake City Games. The Kings have been awarded the mid-season contest for the first time in 21 years, last hosting the Clash in 1981 when the Campbell Conference beat the Whales 4-1.
Was there anybody outside of Sherwood Schwartz going in who thought John Heward would be the least bit successful as coach of the Argos? The team began the road back by hiring Mike Pinball Clemens as coach midway through the season. And now Marty York tells us the Boatmen will soon restructure their management team. The biggest move will see CFL President Jeff Giles take over in the same role with the Argos. Giles has been great for the league, and the viability of the Toronto franchise is paramount to the CFL survival and growth. Marty will dive deeper into the story during the York Report later in the show. The Master and the next one. That's what tonight's coaching matchup at the ACC could have looked like. Lenny Wilkins of the Raptors is the all-time winningest coach in the NBA, and Rick Pitino was as hot a coaching commodity as there's ever been when he left Kentucky for the riches of the Boston Celtics. But millions of dollars in complete control have not translated into a playoff appearance during his tenure, and now it appears imminent Pitino will soon return to the college game. So it's plain old Rick Pitino and Lenny Wilkins. Hoping to avoid his 200 loss, by the way, Rick Pitino. First quarter, Jackson feeds Carter. They circus shot, Raptors up 10. More Raptors, Jackson driving, and watch the pass. He knows where it's going, even if nobody else is. Take another look. He finds Corliss Williamson. And oh, nothing big and nasty about that one. Celtics, though, hanging tough. Antoine Walker stepping up, knocking down the 3. Boston 4 for 6 from behind the arc in the first, but they trail 30-23. Second quarter, Alvin Williams with the lob. And Kevin Willis on the other end. Toronto by 5. Boston running the floor. Randy Brown going behind the back to Paul Pierce. What a story Pierce is. The jam, the Raptors by 8 at the half. Third quarter, the Raps go nuts. Charles Oakley, Antonio Davis, finger roll and the foul. Toronto by 11. They keep coming. Jackson to Carter. Downtown. Part of a 25-6 run. Then these two would hook up again. I say pretty, yeah. Look away behind the back. Vince, you think he's happy to have Mark Jackson in the house? Toronto outscores Boston 41-18 in the third. 41 points in the quarter, a franchise record. The Raptors win it easily, 105-75. They didn't blow the lead this time. Remember last time these teams played, the Raptors led by 21 and let it get away. 3 Raptors reached 20 points. Antonio Davis, Vince Carter, and Corliss Williamson. And Mark Jackson had 8 of his 15 assists in that record third quarter. And what does the big nasty think of life in Toronto now?
Felt good. Have a pretty good game tonight. Also felt good for this team to beat Boston, especially losing a 20-point lead when we went down there to play.
Well, we went after them. We realized that, hey, this is the same team that came back from down 20, 21 points against us. We have to put them away when we have the opportunity, and we went after it with that same approach, made baskets, made plays, not only offensively but defensively, and that got us going.
Even if they made a run, we still came down and got what we wanted. Of course, we're going to miss, but the most important thing is get what we want, try to get at least 1 point out of the deal. And the best thing about it all is that we stopped somebody. We stopped them even if they were trying to make a run. We defended somebody, we boxed out, we rebound. We tried to eliminate their second shots, and I think that was the key.
So you have to buy in on the defense and trust one another that if we're going to rotate, if we're going to help out, then everyone has to be ready to rotate to cover each other, and we did a good job of that.
Give Rick Vive credit. The coach of the woeful OHL Mississauga Ice Dogs has guts. The day after his star 17-year-old demanded a trade to a more competitive team, Vive asked Jason Spezza to pack up his belongings and leave the team immediately. The projected #1 pick in the 2001 NHL draft addressed his teammates prior to practice today and then signed sticks for them.
I just said bye to them. I enjoyed my time here, and I really got along well with the guys, and I just wanted to say goodbye to them, and I'm sure I'll keep in touch with most of them. It was hard, but it came to the point where I was ready for it, and for personal reasons I made the decision, and that's what I'm going to stick to.
He quickly left the Hershey Center while his former teammates went back to practice without him, maybe using those sticks he signed. Who knows? Good move by the players.
At this point in time, it's in the best interest of Mississauga Ice Dogs to have him around here. And I think it's the best thing for the team. It'll be less distraction. And we have to get ready for life after Jason. That trade will be made when we feel that that suitable package is offered to us, and not until then. And I can tell you right now that this organization is going to be very, very firm. That when the right deal, we want to do what's best for the Mississauga Ice Dogs. We don't want Jason to have to sit very long, but at the same time, if the right deal doesn't come along, we're prepared, I believe, to hang in here for the long haul.
Jason Spezza, a special kid, and he may very well be the #1 draft next year, which makes him probably the best junior in the world. So you'd like to have him, but at what cost?
Ottawa, one of the teams he says he will go to. Well, either he was having a bad day, or Bob Goodenow, head of the NHL Players Association, was training for the CBA negotiations in 2004. Chicago police investigated an altercation with a cab driver today. Accusations were made, but it was deemed there was no physical contact. No action was taken. Sportscentral right now is investigating whether or not that call to police came from Gary Bettman's office.
Yeah, word on that when we come back also. Slowly but surely, Mike Weir has proven to be one of the golf's world's elite players. We have an exclusive one-on-one with Mike as he reflects on the past year, while Tiger Woods wants to be treated with respect.
You are watching CTV Sportsnet Pacific, home of the Grizzlies and Canucks. This edition of Sports Central, brought to you by the new Infiniti 2001 QX4 SUV. Own one and you'll understand. And by Swiss Chalet. Life should taste as good as Swiss Chalet.
Free your mind.
Now there's a sedan that makes all other sedans feel inadequate. With an ultra-spacious cabin, sophisticated engineering, a powerful engine, and bold new European design. Introducing the all-new 2001 Elantra from Hyundai. It sets the standard for what a great-looking sedan should be. The all-new Elantra. Driving is believing.
Ah, the sounds of Swiss Chalet and the new dishes we call savory favorites. Beef up stir fry, penne fiesta, fireside chili, and a savory southern bake. For lunch or dinner, it's Swiss Chalet. And by the way, we also serve chicken.
That should taste as good as Swiss Chalet.
At 27-yard drive.
Sports Central has learned Indianapolis Colts kicker Mike Vanderjagt is set to become the richest kicker in the NFL. Sources say he will sign a 5-year deal for just over $7 million. The Oakville, Ontario native is due to make approximately $1.4 million per year, surpassing Sebastian Janikowski of the Oakland Raiders. Vanderjagt will earn his money. He's hit 14 of 15 field goal attempts this season.
It's been said Tiger Woods' golf game is from another planet. That may be true, but tonight we have proof the man himself is indeed human. Woods wants to be treated like any other person. If you see him, say hi before you ask for a favor. And that's something PGA Tour Commissioner Tim Finchem has not been doing. Says Tiger, the only time he talks to me is when he wants me to do something for him, play in this tournament or in that tournament. Woods says this situation could escalate into a bigger situation. By the way, Woods is also playing this week, teeing it up at the World Championship in Spain.
Traditionally, our season ends with our Tour Championship. Just like the people over here ends with the Volvo Masters. And that's how it's going to be next year. But these 2 years, a lot of guys didn't come over, and you know, they're trying to get ready for the holiday season and taking a little time off. And I think that's probably the best way to look at it. My game's all right. It's not the greatest in the world right now. It's I'm just kind of getting by, but I got a few things I need to work on these next 2 days, and I should be ready by Thursday.
Yes, Mike Weir won his first PGA title last season in Vancouver, but it could be argued that this has been the breakout campaign for the likable left-hander. Certainly some evidence of that comes in his appearance at last weekend's Tour Championship, where Darren Dreger caught up with him.
Look at the length that he can hit the ball. I mean,
Mike
he
Weir.
is just a little guy. I mean, that is an incredible golf shot, carried almost to the front of the green. Look at this ball, just that's something else.
Well, the Tour Championship ended a 6-tournament run. Mentally and physically, I'm guessing you're fairly tired.
Yeah, it was, you know, just the way the scheduling worked out. You know, I scheduled those tournaments because I thought I needed them to get into this tournament. And I was a little tired coming in and then getting a case of food poisoning. Didn't want to use it as a big excuse, but that really kind of knocked me back a little bit and never really captured my form for the rest of the week.
Mike, 7 top 10s. You just completed your 2nd consecutive trip to the Tour Championship. To me, that defines success. How would you describe it?
I still think I have a lot of room for improvement. I think I can get my swing a lot more efficient and make everything a little bit more consistent. So that's a process now, and with that getting better, the wins will come, I believe. So that's what I'm hoping anyways.
This is the lefty match. Mike Weir out of Canada for the Internationals against Phil Mickelson, and Mickelson has played very well, but so has Mike Weir this week.
2 lefties, best lefties in the world, maybe of all time, as when the record books are finally finished.
You capped off a remarkable President's Cup with a head-to-head battle with another lefty, Phil Mickelson. Aside from your win in Vancouver, was that the highlight of your career?
It was very, very close. You know, I was really looking forward to that tournament, the President's Cup, for a couple of years, and to get there and as I've said before, just to be on a team with other players to root for and to partner with out there. And you know, for me, you know, watching a guy like Nick Price and kind of trying to take some of the things of his game and incorporate them into mine, and then get to be paired with him in an alternate shot format was a big thrill for me, and it was just a great experience that whole week.
You think Weir might be a superstar, huh, Johnny?
I really do. I think he's got the right stuff, and he's just such a good ball striker. A lot like Nick Price, but with another 10 more yards.
You know, that was a nice compliment for him to say that. And I'm hoping that shows signs of what I can do, hopefully, down the road. And now I need to capture that and make it a little more consistent.
This is the definition of imagination. Watch where Mike Weir has to hit this ball. Up into the heavy rough. Bounce, bounce. It's going to stop. No, no. Now watch. Boy, I'll tell you, do the people that pay to get in to watch a golf tournament, do they love that? Well, I love it too. What a golf shot.
Sounds like you appreciate it too, Murr. That is a heck of a shot.
It's been a great year. I mean, you know, my kids are young right now and really having a great time with them. And, you know, I'm having a great time with my family life. I think my golf side can get much better. At least I hope it does, and that's what I'm going to strive to do. But as far as my family goes, you know, I'm having a blast there.
Is there an off-season for Mike Weir, and if so, does it include watching a lot of hockey?
Oh yeah, I watch a lot of hockey. I get the NHL package on my dish when I'm at home, but you know, we ski. My wife and I'm going to teach my oldest daughter how to ski this winter, and just relax. May try to get to a few games and get back to Canada a couple times, see my family, and other than that, you know, it's just going to be hibernation for a little bit and put the clubs right away.
I'd like to say hi to Mike, who's probably watching right now. Says he's going to rebuild his swing over the winter, come back better than ever next year. Coming up, Valerie Burry, is he still looking to head south and join brother Pavel? We have the story. And don't look now, Mark Jackson and Vince are teaming up on our Plays of the Day.
Sports Central AM with Damian Goddard on CTV Sportsnet Pacific, first in the morning. This edition of Sports Central, brought to you by the new Infiniti 2001 QX4 SUV. Own one and you'll understand. And by Swiss Chalet. Life should taste as good as Swiss Chalet.
The great thing about the new Rio from Kia is that you can get everything you want in a car and still have money left over for that other stuff, like food and clothing and shelter. The new Rio from Kia, under $12,500, over and above what you'd expect. It's about time everyone had a well-made car.
For years, we've worked hard to earn the trust of our customers. Today, we continue to earn your trust by offering the right choice of investment options, like top-performing mutual funds, including Canada's largest index fund family. as well as highly flexible and premium rate GICs. Today, the right choice is a bank you can invest with. Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce.
Introducing the Kia Sportage.
Swamp tours.
Sounds like fun.
Welcome to the swamp.
Hey! That got your mojo going, huh? We're looking for that big bad alligator right now. Alligator, where you at, baby? Here's a shortcut. Who need road? Tastes just like chicken. Hello there, what y'all doing? Try it, honey.
The Kia Sportage. It'll get your mojo going.
I'm Jody Vance. Join us tomorrow for the early edition of Sports Central. It's a busy night for Canadian teams in the NHL. We will have baseball news as well as the $200 million man is upon us. That and all the day's sports news as well. We'll see you for supper.
Still to come on Primetime Sports Central, we have an exclusive report on a major front office shuffle with the Toronto Argos. The Sabres are minus one of their holdouts tonight, and the Flames get both good and bad news from practice involving their two best players. But first, Brad has this.
Darren, scientists who said last week that a space object could collide with Earth in 30 years are now downgrading the threat. They say the small asteroid or piece of space junk has virtually no chance now of hitting Earth. And there's no truth to the rumor the object was tossed by Cardinals lefty Rick Ankiel. Here's the plays of the day.
The plays of the day, brought to you by Bridgestone Blizzak, the tire that sticks to ice.
Make sure you keep it a one-goal game. Marchand went straight ahead and won the draw. He's 2-on-1 with Greer. Todd Marchand to Greer, scores! A huge short-handed goal. Now to Niedema. Faked the screen shot, lost the puck. Darren Fleury, breakaway, short-handed. Great save, Salo.
That was great, but tonight it's Mark Jackson's world. We're all just living in it. Oh, my. Over the head, behind the back, whatever way you want to call it. He's not looking, and he finds Corliss Williamson more from the wraps. Alvin Williams, alley-oop. Kevin Willis. Celtics, some pretty ball movement of their own. Fairly entertaining game at the ACC. Paul Pierce with the finish after Randy Brown drops it off, but the night belonged to Mark Jackson, as I mentioned. Looking one way, behind the back the other, and Vince with the finish. How many times is he going to be in the plays of the day this year? Now, this play for Ray Allen is called number 4. It's you 4 guy, just get out of the way, because I'm going to do it all myself and go all the way around to everybody. 4, Mike Richter. Loves the goalpost, as most goaltenders do, and he's going to get a lot of help after it hits the bing iron, lies on the goal line. He reaches back and gets it, and that's why we love the camera in the net. Get a great angle of that one. Those are the plays of the day on a Tuesday night.
Election day.
Yeah, exactly.
Going back and forth. It all revolves around California.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Very tight. We're going to have a report later, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to sit here and put the map up behind us and little flags of where it goes. But yeah.
It was a very emotional day for Maple Leaf forward Gary Roberts as he reflects on one of the teams that helped resurrect his NHL career. We have that story plus the rest of the story from the National Hockey League when Primetime Sports Central continues.
Closed captioning of this program brought to you by Clarica. Need some financial clarity? Clarica.
One of the rewards of owning a Toyota is parts and service with no surprises or worries. Because let's face it, you got way better stuff to do.
If I could see my clients every day, I'd promise they'd never see another flake of dandruff. I tell them, use Head & Shoulders every time they shampoo to help stop flakes before they even start. Perfect.
What's that? Santa.
When it comes to decorating, there's only one place to go. Canadian Tire.
Harry left. Maybe we weren't good.
And right now, when you buy an artificial tree, we'll donate $5 to the Canadian Tire Foundation for Families.
He's back. He had to make 2 trips.
Canadian Tire lets you give like Santa and save like Scrooge.
If you're
Mad Season by Matchbox 20, featuring the hit singles Bent and If You're Gone.
Well, there's an awful lot of breathing.
Mad Season by Matchbox 20, available now at Music World.
Loading Grizzlies file. Abdur-Rahim, Bibby, Dickerson, Reeves, Harrington, Pontiac Grizzlies basketball. Grizzlies Mavericks, tomorrow at 5 on CTV Sportsnet Pacific. Sports Central Pacific, your team, first at 10.
Darren Millard with Brad Fay, Primetime Sports Central. This is a night jam-packed with action, and the amount of money up for grabs between the Rangers and Oilers tonight would reflect that maybe of a junior hockey 50-50 draw. The players from both sides wanted this one.
Yeah, Darren, and we'll check in on Mark Messier, who obviously played a big part in both of these franchises' history. They call him the greatest Ranger ever. He's the second greatest Oiler ever. First period, 109 in. Tom Cody with a great pass. Bill Guerin. 1-0 Oilers, 11 on the year for Billy. 49 seconds later, Dominic Pittis finds Eric Brewer. Other end of the scale, first goal of the year. He beats Richter. It's 2-0 for the Oil. And as Jim Houston just said, we're not even 2 minutes in, but the Rangers find their man on the power play. It's Brian Leach going shelf. What a shot. It's 2-1 after one. Second period. Oilers in the power play. Yanni Niinema, his point shot stopped. Guerin on the rebound, can't beat Richter. Play continues. Niinema, he watched Serge Savard growing up. I'm going to do this Savardian spin around, but they haven't seen it for a while. They're all befooled. Whoops, third flare, he's going the other way. And Theo has all kinds of time to think about it. What's he going to do? He's shooting, and oh, is he robbed by Tommy Salo, who bails out Niinema. The Rangers, though, will keep coming. They're pressing. The loose puck picked up by York. Stick handle. Score. Beating Salo. Tied at 2 after 2. Third period. Nedved to Jan Hlavich. To Leach. Leach scores. 3-2 for the Rangers. Second of the game as Leach creeps into the slot. Oilers shorthanded, then 2-on-1. Marchand, puck in the air, and Greer picks it out. His third of the year to tie it at 3. An outstanding hockey game at MSG, and on the power play, the Rangers are going to win it like this. The no-look pass from Nedved to Radek Dvorak. It's 4-3 Rangers. That's the final. Rangers celebrate because, it's only Nedved down there. We don't like him much anyway, but Peter was all right. New York's won 4 of its last 5, and the Oilers' 4-game win streak comes to an end. Peter Nedved did pick up 3 assists. Fleury and Mark Messier have their 5-game point streak snapped, but sure enough, they'd like the win regardless. Last time the Raptors and Celtics met, the Raptors were in complete control, leading by 21 in the second quarter, only to have the Celtics come all the way back. You know that was on the mind of the Toronto Raptors tonight. Rick Pitino's mind perhaps on heading back to college basketball. He's looking into the Indiana job if you believe the reports. First quarter, maybe this is why he wants out. He just has no answer for Vince Carter. Circus shot, Raptors up 10. More Raptors, Jackson driving, and what a pass. Take another look at it if you don't believe it. Eyes in the back of his head. It's like Wayne Gretzky. Corliss Williamson is the benefactor. Celtics hanging tough. Antoine Walker, employee number 8, knocks down the triple. Boston 4 for 6 from beyond the arc in the first, but they're down 7. Second quarter, Williams with a lob. Who is it, Vince? No, it's actually Kevin Willis. Not as spectacular, but it counts for the same. Toronto by 5. Boston on the fast break. Randy Brown behind the back. Paul Pierce for the jam. But the Raptors still lead by 8 at the break. Third quarter, Oakley, Antonio Davis. You can see it's early in the third quarter because all those people in the platinum seats are still out enjoying the cocktails. They're still not back yet when Vince Carter knocks down the 3. Then Jackson to Carter, little fadeaway. Vince, part of a 25-6 run. These two hook up again, and look at this. Play of the night. Right there, behind the back. No look. Jackson to Carter. Toronto outscores Boston 41-18 in the third quarter. 41 points, a record for the Raptors in a quarter. They win it easily, 105-75. Maybe they're back on track. They dropped their first 3. They've won 2 straight. 3 players reached 20 points. AD with 24, Vince Carter with 23, Corliss with 21. How about Mark Jackson? 8 of his 15 assists came in the third quarter as Rick Pitino loses his 200th game.
Knicks in Milwaukee, Ray Allen, he got game, starting his 300th straight contest. Late in the first quarter, listen. Allen Houston with the buzzer beater for the triple. Houston with 13 in the quarter, Knicks on top. And then NYK get fancy in the second. Chris Childs to Marcus Camby, slamming it home, but Camby was humbled on the play. He would be all right, 56-43 Knicks at the half. Lone bright spot for the Bucks, it was Allen. Giving gravity some help via the baseline. Reverse dunk, but that would not be enough because you only get two. Knicks win 103-89. Allen Houston paced the Knicks with a season-high 24.
It's the Lakers and the Rockets. Phil Jackson looking like George Clooney, not really, but trying. First quarter, Kobe Bryant to the hoop, finishes with the soft lay-in, and then Kobe off the dribble. Nothing soft about this one. Up and down. This game tied early. But Maurice Taylor working along the baseline. And over Horace Grant, Rockets in front by 5. More Rockets. Stevie Francis going to find Akeem Olajuwon, and the Dream still has a touch from deep. He had 12 points in the first half. The Rockets led by 5 when they went for the Oranges, but oh, they hang on. They win it by 10. Steve Francis leads the Rockets with 23 points. The Lakers, a very average 3-2 to start the season. O'Neal, 24 points and 7 rebounds. He just keeps rolling along. Atlanta and Portland underway there at halftime, in fact, and Portland needs to get it going. A lot of people's pick to win it all, but again, so many changes. Maybe it'll take a while to get it together. They're 1-3 and playing arguably the worst team in the NBA.
Washington, Chicago, Michael Jordan's Wizards visiting his old stopping ground, the United Center, to face the Bulls. First quarter, Mitch Richmond. This is the common theme. Misses the layup. Jahadi White misses the putback. He would eventually get his own rebound, but he can't finish the dunk. Later, Obina Akizi. That's an easy one. Rod Strickland can't finish. The Wizards were 3 of 20 from the field in the quarter. If it was a game of force, Washington would be saddled up and riding home. The Bulls take advantage. Khalid El-Amin to Elton Brand with a flush and the foul. The Bulls up by 1 to the fourth. Marcus Fizer. Pump fake, hits the jumper. The Bulls by 2 late in the game. Go to the board and bring us up to date because this one is still going at the United Center. Washington has rallied with 20 seconds left, have a 3-point lead. The Bulls failed to sell out for the first time since November 20th, 1987. Fitting it was against Michael Jordan's team right now. They fell 311 people short of a sellout tonight. Brand with 14 points, but Chicago needs a rally right now. Sean Marion leads all shooters with 9 for 11 with 21 points right now as Phoenix taking on San Antonio. Tim Duncan is 18 and 10 for the Spurs.
Seattle center Patrick Ewing said on Tuesday that he would donate one of his kidneys to good friend Miami Heat center Alonzo Mourning if it came to that. Mourning, of course, is suffering from a kidney disorder that is forcing him to miss the entire NBA season. Ewing said he and Mourning have not yet approached doctors or gone through any tests to determine if he would be a match. Derek.
Gary Roberts shares the opinion of most kids in the year 2000. The jersey of the Carolina Hurricanes does not top the priority list. Roberts proved this theory himself when he left the Tar Heel State for Toronto this summer. However, don't be fooled. The feisty forward owes the Canes plenty, considering they gave him a shot after he missed a full season with a back injury. Tomorrow night, he will play his friends.
The Carolina Hurricanes reached out to Gary Roberts when he needed them the most. The veteran Lee Swinger spent the last 3 seasons in Carolina after missing the entire 96-97 campaign with a serious neck injury. And Roberts is more than thankful for the chance the Canes gave him when other clubs felt his NHL days were numbered.
I'd made the announcement I was going to come back to play in June of '97, and Carolina stepped up and made a trade for me. And they were great to me, my family and myself. We enjoyed it in Carolina. Jim Rutherford and Pete Carmanos treated us with nothing but respect. So I have the utmost respect for the organization and really thank them for the opportunity they gave me.
The Leafs went in search of Roberts in the offseason, hoping to add leadership, grit, and offense. And so far, the 34-year-old product of North York has not disappointed. A matter of fact, he leads the team in goals with 6.
Gary Roberts gets some open ice, hangs on, shoots, he scores!
If I can put a few pucks in that, play well defensively, and create some opportunities for my line mates, and that's great. The puck seems to be going in the net a little bit, and I'm enjoying that, but at the same tone, I need to continue going out there and working hard and doing the things that have gotten me here.
His commitment to his play, his preparation is as good as I've seen in any athlete, and I'll bet you he doesn't have many what you'd call off performances. because he prepares so well.
I knew a lot about him before he came, but he's one guy that doesn't cheat the game 1 second.
The newest chapter of Roberts' career is just 14 games old, and if the former Flame and Kane has his way, this will be his last NHL stop.
I'm loving it. It's great. I have you guys around every day, and I'm starting to get a little more comfortable talking to the media every day, and hopefully can continue scoring so I stay on the good side. It's an enjoyable change for us, and a change that we're looking forward to continuing and hopefully retire here.
Peter Lubardi is CTV Sportsnet, Toronto.
Enjoys having Pete around.
I think so. That's particularly what he likes.
That's good for Pete. As if the Flames needed this, #1 goaltender Fred Brathwaite was forced to leave practice early today after he was struck in the groin area with a puck. You guys out there can put 2 and 2 together and share in his pain. Arguably the Flames' best player through a season-starting slump, Brathwaite is listed as questionable for tomorrow night's date with Minnesota. Martin Brochure has been called up just in case. On a better note, Valerie Bure does not want to be traded out of Calgary. The 35-goal scorer from last year was quoted this week about his desire to escape a bad situation in Calgary and join his brother Pavel in Florida. Instead, Bure admitted to the Herald today he is indeed unhappy, but his feelings are derived from the hard times the early part of the schedule has created.
Martin Biron, considered the Sabres goaltender of the future, re-signed with Buffalo Tuesday and was sent to the minors. Biron, a restricted free agent, signed a multi-year deal and was immediately assigned to the American Hockey League affiliate in Rochester.
Coming up on Prime Time, first it was pinball. Now could another ex-Argo land himself a job with Toronto management? Marty York has the story. Baseball has begun to hand out that hardware. This season's NL Rookie of the Year ran away with the award.
Game day, every day. You're watching Sports Central. Nobody covers your